Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. For all you Jane Austen fans out there, you're getting a new version of Emma. And in the title role herself is AnyaTaylor-Joy.
Yep.
Yay. Talk about, here's a woman who wrote a book several hundred years ago, and yet it still seems relevant today.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's a brilliant satirist, and she really writes people very, very well. And as much as we'd like to believe that we're super evolved now, I think we haven't really changed that much. Maybe the rules and the customs have, but you know, fancying the boy that you're not supposed to fancy and not letting him know about it, that's kind of forever a problem.
Let me ask you, having gone through this experience, would you ever try and set anybody else up after this experience?
No. No, no way. I have a couple of friends that fancy each other, and whenever they're like, oh, do you want to set me up with this person? I'm like, absolutely not. Please, make good choices, take care of each other's hearts, but keep me right out of it.
I'm always amazed when I watch films like this, how much we've evolved in a way as a culture, because everything was so proper, so prim, the way you lifted a fork, how you ate your soup. Would you have been comfortable in that time frame?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had minor anxiety attacks every time I picked up a teacup, so possibly not. But I do love the organized dances. I would have loved that. It's just so romantic and so much fun that everyone knows what they're doing and they know all the steps. I'm really bummed that people don't do that anymore.
I was also kind of intrigued too about Emma, because while there's such a sense of properness about her, there's that one sequence at the picnic where she kind of lets truth unfurl, and how much that really kind of colors her in a way.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, how much do people want the truth?
Oh, well, I mean, I think there's a way to deliver the truth which isn't mocking. Emma, as Knightley says, it was badly done. She didn't do that the right way, and it was to elicit, it was truth in search of laughter and unkindness. But I do think there's a way of telling the truth where people should hear it. Not in this context, but in life.
Most of us are very comfortable driving in our cars, and we probably have never experienced a stagecoach. How comfortable can they be?
I loved my carriage. I mean, when Austen first showed me this big glass carriage, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm literally living Cinderella. What is going on? That being said, I'm very tall. I'm 5'8", and the bonnets are considerably large also, and people of that era were not that tall, so a lot of those scenes I'm really, really down trying to fit into the carriage. So I loved it, but I don't exactly fit in them.
I think it's safe to kind of say Emma's a bit of a daddy's girl.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, what is your own relationship with your father? How have you bonded over the years?
Oh, I'm so close to my dad. I'm very much a daddy's girl, and it's interesting actually, there's a beautiful scene where Emma's crying and Bill comes up and just stands next to me and doesn't say anything but just lets me cry, and that's actually modeled after something that did happen with my dad that I told Bill about, and he just thought it was beautiful. So seeing Bill and my dad together is it gets me emotional. I love those two men so much.
Last question for you. Let's talk about the attire. Did you feel more feminine in those kind of outfits, or is something like you have today?
I wouldn't say feminine. I felt sharp. I felt like a very dangerous, poisonous fish at times. With all of those frills and everything, I definitely felt like I was weaponized. I had big shoulders and everything, but that just added to Emma. And there's a costume story throughout it. I start off very sharp and angular, and then eventually it softens, and so that helped tell the story.
Well, congratulations. Terrific
Thank you
performance.
so
Great
much.
movie. The movie's Emma. This is Scott Orlin. Till next time.